You probably know about my previous escapades with a certain Russian fellow named Vladimir Tynerpsky, especially in episode 25, which was a year ago, Jesus Christ. But I'm kind of afraid to make this video because it's all about Tetris, which is a Russian game, and I'm afraid he might come out and destroy me. But then again, I defeat him every time, so I don't know what I'm afraid about. Anyways, on to the story of Tetris, the best YouTube video I've ever seen. Yes, I know that's a bold statement to make, but it is. It genuinely is. This 1 hour documentary about the story of Tetris was created by Norman Caruso, aka the gaming historian, who is known for making lots of stories about the history of video games, different games, gaming consoles, companies, the whole shebang. So, he released this video on the 19th of February, 2018, and I watched this in, I don't even know. Yeah, I completely forgot. I think it was something like 2019 or something, but anywho, I watched this video and I immediately fell in love with this. There's so many layers to this story that it's just it was overwhelming the first time I watched this, and then I watched it again and again, and well, I get it. I think, hopefully, probably not, but let's just talk about it. So the story of Tetris follows what else? The story of Tetris, specifically its early years from its creation in 1984 to the Game Boy release in 1989, which is 5 years. Now, usually, not a lot would happen in those 5 years, and you think that the story would be very simple. The game gets made. There's Pajanov gives the creator gives the rights to Nintendo, and then boom, the game is made, right? Well, if you think that, then you're a dumb stupid poo poo head. But I watched this and I know the full story now. I think, hopefully. So basically, the game was created by this guy, Alexei Pajanov, who made the game while working at the Russian Academy of Sciences, which is a prestigious place in the Soviet Union. And yes, he made this during the Soviet Union. So this is a communist game, technically. I mean, it's not really, but what goes, I guess. And he created the game while working at the Russian Academy of Sciences in 1984, and what pursued was a massive rights battle of who could do what with the game, but eventually it fell into Nintendo's hands in 1989, and there was lots of other characters in the story were introduced: Robert Stein, Hank Rogers, the Maxwell Corporation, Phil Adam, Howard Lincoln, Minoru Arakawa. I probably messed that up so hard, but what goes, I guess. First off, let me get this out of the way. The editing is fantastic. Everything is well paced and it looks good, and not once does it feel like this was poorly edited or just put together within a day, like my videos. Actually, they're put together in like 30 minutes. It feels like there was real effort put into this video, that Norman went out of his way to do this as perfectly as possible, and he succeeded at it. The editing in this video is spot on. Another thing I find well about this video is the pacing. This is only an hour long, which makes it one of the shortest films I've ever seen. A documentary is a film. Stop saying it's not. It is a genre in the film industry. It is not separate from films. Documentaries are films unless they're miniseries. I do not count miniseries as films. They are called miniseries for a reason. They are since released in separate parts. But anyways, yeah, I just think this video is very well paced. It keeps you interested throughout the entire thing, laying down new facts on you and bringing back old ones to make sure you're paying attention to the story while also adding a bit more intensity to it. Speaking of, this is just a really intense documentary. Everyone trying to battle for the rights while also being in a dangerous country, that being the Soviet Union, where it was very strict around this time and tensions were high due to Ronald Reagan messing everything up, and the Soviet Union on the brink of collapse. So yeah, there's a lot of intensity in this, and it really keeps you engaged into the story. And plus, you feel like bad things are gonna happen when something doesn't go a character's way. Like, what if they get captured? What if they are never heard from again? A few bad things happen to some of the characters after this story, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, it's well edited, and it's well paced, and it also keeps a good air of intensity throughout the entire hour, which makes this a very engaging and well-paced video that keeps your attention and doesn't make you bored. I know a lot of people that would probably be bored by this. But personally, I think the most interesting part of this whole thing is the credits, where we see all the people involved in this, well, most of them, actually no, all of them, and what they did after these 5 years. And some of them are legitimately depressing, like what happened to Vladimir Pokilko. If you're reading this, then yeah, you're probably as shocked as I was when I first read this, but this part really shows that people were affected by this. They had lots of long-lasting effects, even if they weren't directly involved with Tetris, like what happened to Robert Maxwell, perfect timing, where it says what happened there. Maybe they say that his death was by a heart attack, by accidental drowning. Some say he was murdered. No one knows. But I think this hits hard, especially when we get to the final name in the credits. Not him. The creator of the game. The man who started it all. The man who created one of the most successful games in the industry. Alexei Pajitnov. For 5 years, he never got any royalties for his game. He never got anything. And then in 1995, he began getting royalties. He created the Tetris company with Hank Rogers, and he began getting his rightful earnings from his game. This is legitimately one of the most sweetest, heartfelt, and most gut-wrenching things in the entire film on YouTube. Because after all these years, he's finally gotten what he deserves. Money for creating one of the most successful games of all time. I know I'm probably sounding a bit, sad and depressed, but this genuinely is the best video on YouTube. There's over 800 million videos on the site, but this is the best. So yeah, that's my review. Make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully Tainovsky will never come back again. I'm gonna regret saying that. Anyway, goodbye.